It's a weekend afternoon. The sun spills through the window, warming a spot on the couch where you sit, mindlessly scrolling. Your screen is a highlight reel of other people's lives, parties, vacations, dinners out. Meanwhile, your own weekend feels stuck on repeat. Sleep, TV, and not much else. You've thought about texting someone, about making plans, but every time you pick up your phone, it just feels like too much effort. What would you even say? So you put it back down. Even when you're in a crowd, you feel like you're on the outside looking in. As everyone laughs and chats, you're the quiet observer, wearing a smile that doesn't quite reach your eyes. You nod along, but you know this isn't real joy. Later, on the walk home, the loneliness hits you like a wave. The silence is deafening, and it feels like the entire world is moving on without you. Our culture loves to tie a busy social life to a healthy personality. It makes you think that if you're not constantly surrounded by friends, there's something wrong with you. You even start to label yourself introvert, antisocial, a loner. But today, we're going to tear down that shallow idea. Your loneliness isn't a character flaw. It's a complex defense mechanism woven by your brain to protect you after being let down one too many times. Your mind isn't broken, it's just operating on a frequency most people can't hear. Your sharp intuition helps you see through the social masks at work. Your intolerance for anything fake makes you reject the empty small talk at parties. But this same hyper-awareness has also left you feeling trapped. Are you ready to understand why? I'm going to show you the hidden gifts behind this feeling of isolation and how you can finally embrace what makes you different, to find your strength and live life at your own rhythm. And there's a deep physical reason for this feeling. A 2023 study in the journal Nature Neuroscience revealed something profound about what happens to us during long periods of social isolation. After more than 6 months, the gray matter in the medial prefrontal cortex, the very part of your brain responsible for empathy, for understanding social cues, and for reading the emotions in someone's voice, can decrease by over 12%. Think of it like a tool left unused in a garage, slowly beginning to rust. Those delicate neural connections, the ones that help you catch a fleeting micro-expression, read between the lines of a conversation, or sense the warmth in someone's tone, they begin to weaken and fade in the quiet. This isn't a sign of a weak will. It's a very real, physiological process of forgetting. When your brain no longer senses the need for these social skills, it starts to reroute its energy toward more basic survival functions. And without you even realizing it, you start to forget how to naturally connect with people. This process of forgetting often begins with a series of small but sharp moments of disappointment. They line up like dominoes, knocking over your trust in others, one by one. Maybe it was that time in the school cafeteria when you shared a secret, only to have it turned into a classroom joke. Or when you were a teenager and poured your heart out to a friend about a crush, and it became the latest piece of school gossip, followed by a dismissive, "Stop being so dramatic." Or maybe it happened at your job when an idea you shared in confidence was calmly repackaged and presented as a coworker's own. Evolutionary psychology tells us our brains are wired to connect experiences. When your moments of vulnerability are met, again and again, with betrayal, ridicule, or disappointment, your brain does what it's designed to do. It activates a primal defense mechanism. It starts to build a wall. You begin to hold back, swallowing the words you desperately want to say. You lower your expectations, telling yourself it's safer if no one truly understands you anyway. You start to rehearse every sentence in your head, making sure each word is safe and harmless. These defenses, which were first built to protect you from pain, eventually become the very barriers that keep love and connection out. Like shutting your doors and windows to brace for a sandstorm, you end up blocking out the warm sun and the cool, fresh air, too. What many people don't realize is that this chronic emotional isolation often comes with a set of high-value traits. In the structured worlds of work or academics, these traits are your superpowers. But in the messy, nuanced world of human connection, they can become a double-edged sword, hurting both you and the people you want to get close to. Your brain works like a powerful, always-on social radar. While others are just enjoying the moment, cheering for a goal or grabbing another chicken wing, you are rapidly decoding the entire interaction. Did my colleague's frown mean he disagreed with my prediction about the game? Was that awkward pause a signal that I should change the subject? When he waved goodbye so quickly, was he just being dismissive? This hypervigilance comes from a deep subconscious need to avoid rejection. You might lie in bed at night, replaying conversations from the day, scanning every tiny detail for potential threat signals. But that constant tension is something others can feel. It shows up in your body language, a stiff smile, frequent glances at your phone, a deliberate physical distance. And people misinterpret these signals. They see you as cold, aloof, or unapproachable. They start to think being around you is exhausting, and they pull away. You built a shell to protect yourself, but it ended up pushing everyone away. At the same time, this high sensitivity gives you a finely tuned social lie detector. You just can't bring yourself to join in with fake applause. You refuse to offer a compliment. You don't mean just to fit in. And you have no patience for the games of surface-level friendship. In a world that so often feels like a reality TV show, where everyone is wearing a carefully polished mask, your honesty feels out of place. Your clarity is mistaken for a lack of social grace. It's like you're at a huge Halloween party. Everyone is having a wild time in their elaborate costumes, but you're the only one who has taken off your mask. And for showing your real face, you're the one who is seen as the outsider. And through it all, after countless times of having no one to lean on, you've mastered the art of processing everything on your own. When a relationship ends, you don't call a friend to cry for hours. Instead, you make a cup of black coffee, sit down with your journal, and rationally analyze what went wrong. When you're criticized by your boss, you don't vent to a coworker. You immediately start researching ways to improve. On a resume, this emotional self-sufficiency looks like a huge plus. Independent, resilient, and strong under pressure. But in a relationship, it becomes an invisible wall. There's a concept in psychology called attachment theory, and it teaches us that healthy relationships are built on interdependence, not complete self-sufficiency. When you never show your vulnerability, never ask for help, and always deflect concern with a smile and an "I'm fine," you send a subconscious message to the people who care about you. I don't need you. They begin to feel redundant in your life. You haven't left any space for them to be there for you. It's like your life is a sealed-up New York apartment. The doors are locked, the windows are bolted shut, and if someone can't even find a way to knock, there's no chance they'll ever be able to come inside. There's also a part of you that's wired to question authority. You've never been one to believe that the majority knows best. At work, when your team defaults to the safe but inefficient way of doing things, you're the one who speaks up with a better idea, even if it gets you labeled as a show-off. In your personal life, when a new product goes viral on TikTok, you're the one coolly analyzing if it's actually useful, refusing to buy into the hype. This fierce independence is what keeps your thinking clear. You're not easily swept away by consumerism or groupthink, and because of that, people give you a kind of distant respect. But evolutionary psychology tells us that a huge part of human connection is built on a sense of sameness. We bond by rooting for the same NBA team, by loving the same musician, by sharing the same worldview. Your uniqueness, in this sense, can feel like an invisible barrier. It's like your personal radio is tuned to 107.9 FM, but everyone else is listening on 98.5. No matter how clear your signal is, you can't resonate on their frequency. And then there's the challenge with emotional reciprocity. It's often linked to something called alexithymia, which doesn't mean you lack feelings. Not at all. It just means your emotional operating system tends to internalize and logically process them, rather than translating them into warm, expressive words. All of these seemingly strong traits can weave a web of loneliness around you, creating a self-reinforcing negative cycle that keeps you trapped. It starts with what's known as a self-fulfilling prophecy. Because you were hurt in the past, you're deeply afraid of being rejected now. So at a company party, you intentionally sit in the corner. When someone does talk to you, you stick to safe, impersonal topics like the weather. Your colleagues can feel that intentional distance. They read it as, "He doesn't seem to want to talk to us," and so they leave you alone. And in that moment, your fear becomes your reality. It reinforces that core belief. "See, I knew no one really wanted me around," which only makes you withdraw even more the next time. And then there's the chain reaction of social rustiness. It's like trying to ride a bike after years of not touching one. The moment you get on, you feel stiff, unbalanced, and wobbly. After so much time in isolation, your social muscles have weakened. You find yourself in a conversation, and you don't know how to jump in naturally. Your coworkers are talking about a popular new show, and even though you've seen it, the words get stuck in your throat. You draft a simple text, "Want to grab dinner sometime?" but you hover over the send button for half an hour before just deleting it. Even meeting up with an old friend can feel so tense, you end up scrolling through your phone just to escape the awkwardness. This mechanical feeling makes you even more anxious, trapping you in a downward spiral. The worse you perform, the more you fear socializing, and the rustier your skills become, until the thought of it is just too much to bear. Even more overwhelming is the tyranny of your own inner monologue. When the outside world goes quiet, the voice inside your head gets incredibly loud. Sometimes, it's a sanctuary, a companion to fill the silence. But more often, it's a cruel prison, judging you with the harshest words. You fumble a sentence at a party, and that one moment replays in your mind for hours. "I'm so awkward. That was so embarrassing." You send a text and don't get an immediate reply, and the story you tell yourself is, "They're probably annoyed with me. I never should have sent that." A casual frown from a stranger can trigger an entire night of wondering, "What did I do to offend them?" Without anyone on the outside to offer a different perspective, these negative thoughts start to feel like the absolute truth. They sabotage you before you even try, stripping you of the courage to act. And finally, there is the sheer exhaustion of pretending. In a culture that constantly preaches positivity, admitting you don't have many friends can feel like admitting you failed. So you curate a persona of being busy and fulfilled. You spend the weekend reading a book alone, but you post an Instagram story of the view from your window with the caption, "Perfect afternoon, enjoying some me time." Your coworkers invite you on a camping trip, and a part of you desperately wants to go, but the fear of not fitting in is too strong. So you turn them down with a convenient, "got a deadline to hit." You even find yourself turning on all the lights in your room during a video call with family just so you can say you just got back from hanging out with friends. This constant performance is like wearing a heavy mask. It drains what little emotional energy you have, leaving you more exhausted than before, and making it even harder to find the strength to build a real connection. You end up trapped in a vicious cycle: pretend, get exhausted, become even more lonely. At the very heart of your pain is this constant war, the deep, desperate longing for connection, and the paralyzing fear of getting hurt again. It's a conflict that tears you in two, pushing away the very thing you crave. And the connection you long for isn't the loud chatter of a cocktail party or the polite small talk at the office. It's that rare, silent comfort. It's the feeling of Monica's apartment in Friends, a place where you don't have to search for topics, where you can be yourself in your worn-out pajamas, eating takeout and complaining about your day. And the other person just listens, and when you're done, they hand you a beer instead of a list of solutions. This high standard for connection makes you reject all the shallow opportunities. You skip the team barbecue because it feels like pointless networking. You decline your roommate's birthday party because the thought of awkwardly standing around is too much. But in doing so, you forget a fundamental truth. Every deep relationship begins on the surface, just like a giant sequoia tree starts as a tiny seed, needing time in the soil before it can grow tall. Your past wounds have turned the act of showing vulnerability into something that feels like walking barefoot across a field of broken glass. Every step is a risk. So you've built a wall around yourself, but it's a wall with a window. On your side, it's quiet and lonely. On the other, the world is full of life and laughter. You find yourself staring through that window, yearning to be seen, to be understood. Sometimes, you even open it a crack, cautiously reaching out. But the moment someone gets too close, the memories of being laughed at as a kid or betrayed as an adult come rushing back, and you slam it shut. You lock it tight. You're so afraid of feeling the sting of your sincerity being trampled on again. You're terrified of your vulnerability being used as a weapon against you. So you turn away before you can get hurt. But you don't realize that the same door that keeps out the pain is also the one that blocks the people who genuinely want to come in and offer you warmth. But there's a quieter, more insidious trap, the pleaser's defense. To avoid being abandoned, you learn to suppress your own needs, becoming a reflection of what others want you to be, instead of being yourself. When a coworker mentions they prefer a quiet workspace, you turn off the music that helps you focus. When a friend says they can't stand negativity, you hide all your struggles and only share the happy parts of your life. On a date, if they say they're looking for someone gentle and family-oriented, you pretend you love cooking and organizing, even when your true passions are coding and hiking. But psychology has shown us, time and time again, that real connection is built on the resonance of our authentic selves. When you hide who you are to please someone else, they fall in love with the mask, not with you. And the moment that mask slips, the moment you can no longer keep up the performance, the relationship shatters like a soap bubble. Without the emotional mirror of friendship, your perception of yourself begins to warp. There's a theory in psychology called the looking glass self, which says that we build our sense of self based on how others see us. A friend's compliment, "You're such a great listener," helps you see your own strengths. A partner's reassurance, "I feel so safe when I'm with you," affirms your value. But in long-term isolation, that mirror disappears. You lose that external validation, and you're left with only your own inner critic to define you. And that's when the negative memories take over. You start to fixate on your perceived flaws. "I'm too direct, no one likes that. I'm too sensitive, I always overthink things. I don't have any special talents, I'm not worthy of being loved." This distorted self-image crushes your confidence, reinforcing the belief that even if I try, I'll just be rejected, trapping you in yet another negative loop. But please, believe this. What you've gained from this chronic emotional isolation isn't just pain. It is also a collection of gifts that people who drift along in the crowd may never discover. The lonely days, devoid of outside approval, forced you to turn inward, to embark on a deep exploration of yourself. You started spending your hours in libraries, finding courage in the works of philosophers. You started writing, pouring your feelings onto the page and discovering a sharpness of insight you never knew you had. You started hiking alone, finding a sense of peace with yourself against the vast backdrop of the Grand Canyon. This profound connection to yourself has given you a self-awareness that is rare and precious. You know what you love and what you despise. You know your strengths and you know your boundaries. This deep-rooted sense of self is what keeps you grounded in a chaotic world, what keeps you from losing your way in the tide of consumerism. So many people lose themselves in the crowd. You, in your solitude, have found yourself. Your time as a social observer has also made you a unique connoisseur of human nature. Standing on the edge of the circle, you're not lost in the surface-level noise. You see things with a rare clarity. You see the motives behind the actions. A coworker's helpful gesture might just be a networking strategy. A stranger's friendly chat at a party might be a veiled attempt to use you. You've learned to read the calculations behind the compliments and see the insincerity beneath the enthusiasm. And because of this, you can recognize a truly genuine soul when you see one. They don't flatter you when you're succeeding, but they quietly offer a hand when you're struggling. They don't force you into the spotlight, but they respect your need for space. This deep insight into people, while making it hard to fit in everywhere, protects you from the exhaustion of fake relationships. It is a rare and valuable gift. You must remember this: your depth, your sensitivity, your uniqueness. These are not flaws that block connection. They are your most precious qualities. They are the reasons you are worth knowing. Like a pearl in the deep ocean, which needs time and pressure to form its gentle glow, your value reveals itself to those who know how to appreciate it. The very traits that make you feel isolated, your commitment to honesty, your intolerance for falsehood, your independent mind, are the markers of your authenticity. You are not antisocial. You just haven't found your tribe. You are not an outcast. You are simply waiting for someone who can read the language of your soul. And this period of solitude, at its core, is not a punishment. It is a profound preparation. In your quiet, you have practiced sincerity, learning not to compromise yourself for others. You have held on to your sense of self, defining your own boundaries and needs. You have sharpened your mind and spirit, becoming more mature and whole. All of this has been building your capacity for the deep connection you've always longed for. Think of a tree in winter. It loses its leaves and goes dormant, but it is not dying. It is gathering nutrients, preparing for the spring, when it can burst forth with life. Your time alone is for that. So when the right person does come along, you will be able to meet them as your fullest, most authentic self, not as a broken person looking for rescue. The path toward connection is never a straight line. It takes time, patience, and small but steady acts of courage. But every step you take helps to regrow those weakened social pathways in your brain. So please, start by accepting one simple truth: healing is slow. Don't force yourself into a loud party tomorrow. Don't write yourself off after one awkward conversation. The science of neuroplasticity shows us that new neural connections are built through repetition. You can begin with micro-braveries. Today, just reply to that Snapchat from a friend, even if it's only with an emoji. Tomorrow, say yes to a coworker's lunch invitation and give yourself permission to just listen quietly. Next week, try sharing one small recent struggle with a family member instead of the usual, "I'm fine." These seemingly tiny acts are like drops of water on a stone. Over time, they will gently repair your neural pathways, and you will slowly remember how to connect again. Please remember, true friendship has never been a numbers game. It's about a recognition of souls. You don't need 100 friends who like your posts on social media or a crowd of acquaintances to clink glasses with at a party. You only need one or two people who see your vulnerability and cherish your uniqueness. They will be the ones who can sit with you in silence and not feel the need to fill it. They will understand the sensitivity behind your overanalyzing and never tell you you're thinking too much. They will value your sincerity, not exploit it. They will respect your space when you need to be alone and stand firmly by your side when you need them most. Finding people like this might take time. It might take a few wrong turns and mismatched encounters. But please, trust that souls that resonate on the same frequency will always find each other in the vastness of the world. Just as migrating birds always find their way to warmer shores, and just as stars are always found in the company of their own night sky. And finally, please, let go of the self-doubt that asks, "Why don't I have friends?" and replace it with the quiet confidence that says, "Not everyone is meant to match my frequency." Your sensitivity is not fragility. It's a gift that allows you to feel the emotional details others miss. Your sincerity is not a refusal to bend. It's a passport that grants access only to those who are truly worthy of you. Your uniqueness is not a flaw. It is an irreplaceable light, a beacon that will attract souls as special as your own. You do not need to dilute who you are to fit in. You do not need to compromise your principles to be accepted. And you never, ever need to use the noise of a crowd to cover up the quiet of your own heart. Those nights you walked through alone, that loneliness you quietly endured, those moments you stood your ground and chose to be yourself. None of it was a waste. It was all forging you into someone more whole, more true. When you finally understand how your own mind works and accept that your solitude is a trait, not a defect. When you learn to make peace with your sensitivity and appreciate what makes you different. And when you are willing to take those first small steps of courage toward connection, you will see that loneliness was never the destination. It was the path that led you toward true connection. You are not broken. You are becoming. You are becoming someone who can both enjoy the quiet of your own company and hold the warmth of a deep relationship. Someone who can both stand firm in your boundaries and embrace others with an open heart. Someone who can grow in solitude and blossom in connection. And that person who understands you, that soul who resonates with yours, is making their way through the crowd, walking toward you. And until they arrive, please love yourself, because you are worthy of all the sincerity, warmth, and deep connection that is coming your way.